the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Mamo akwaba bimba Nsem-Pii TV so. Menemo kasei Dr. Mahama Bawumia any 2024 campaign team at the press conference as so. Na Dennis Miracles Abuaje on one side the spokesperson for Dr. Mahama Bawumia. Now na side a leading member of Dr. Mahama Bawumia 2024 campaign team no communication. Na press conference here, Dr. Mahama Bawumia a campaign team editor Jano. On the reply, and I come a former President John Dramani Mahama, on the presidential candidate for the National Democratic Congress, NDC, the opposition party. Nininafa, Nsem-Pii and saying Alberto Abonti say Ghana do a general election, do election, Amonyo Kono, Edin na da propaganda, Casine Beya, on bearing in the heart of Ghanaians, Senator Wakoto Aba Amomo. Na enam so na former president John Dramani Mahama editor just say one student one tablet initiative here Dr. Mahama Bawumia with the help of education minister Dr. Oseya Duchum aboa aba na ebeboa Ghana edusua no o say vote buying ana NPP amanyokunu and say way back 2016 only NDC amanyokunu did the same policy ebetudwa na montimi amfa koto anyen kwan ne de NPP amanyokunu started na again momentum a mo say vote buying ana moye na ama Dr. Mahama Bawumia 2024 campaign team no press conference o mo de reply koma a former president John Dramani Mahama almost spreading any lies no the propaganda on the NDC amanyokunu ye na message ebeko ne akoti Dennis Miracles Abuaje nsema opani ankasa.
The press conference of the Bawumia campaign is on. Dennis Miracles Abuaje is addressing the press. Stay with us.
Talent performance and sheer brilliance that these students exhibit during the National Science and Maths Quiz competition in Ghana. We have also been aware of the exploits of students from the Efiakobi Ampem Girls Senior High School who are modeling flying aeroplanes and the achievement of other senior high schools in this country. The performance of these students in the WASI, therefore, do not come as a surprise to parents, guardians, and well-wishers who are following and monitoring the performance of these children and what they are doing in the schools with the assistance of their teachers. You remember the young Thomas Amweni, this young man who had 8 A's in the WASE exams. Yes, the young boy from Adeso Presby Senior High School who had been left without hope and was stuck with subsistence farming in the Upper West Akem district of this country. He was spotted, given a scholarship by government to study in the Brunei University in the United Kingdom. Today, this student that was a product of Free Senior High School and had this sterling performance during the WASE exams is currently one of the best performing students in this first class university in the UK. How is a boy who cheated, as a result got 8 A's, still topping in the United Kingdom and making Ghana proud? How is that possible? Across the world today, many young Ghanaians are lifting the flag of Ghana, lifting it very high and doing amazing things academically. And these things are not only reflecting in the WASE results, but they are happening in other spaces and we are all seeing it. The least one can do in this situation is to appreciate the efforts and sacrifices of these students, their teachers, parents, and all stakeholders that support them for them to perform well. If you do not want to commend government because, of course, it goes against you, the least you can do is to appreciate these children and not to run them down. It is complete, total disrespect, and from no other person than a former president who should know better to be running down our young children and calling them names. If he cannot appreciate the consistent effort of these teachers from schools like the Keita Senior High School, St. James Seminary in Sunyane, Prempeh College, Presec, Legon, Manfe Methodist Girls, Wesley Girls Senior High School, my beloved Latter Presby Senior High Technical School, that for the first time is producing students who are coming up with 6 A's, 5 A's, and 4 A's. If he cannot appreciate the efforts of these students, their parents and their teachers, then he should stop insulting them blatantly, insulting their intelligence, and running down their sacrifices. Till this moment, ladies and gentlemen, the entire country is in shock as to how the incompetent, corrupt, and failed former president could unashamedly attempt to denigrate the provision of tablets for senior high school students. That one tool, which would quicken the transformation processes of our senior high school education into the digital area, and for them to be ready for the world ahead of them. For someone who has been a gracious beneficiary of the Ghanaian education system in the past, it is problematic for all of us to find this failed former president set his eyes and heart on and bitterness against these young Ghanaians as they benefit from the revolutionized education system. The rollout of one student, one tablet policy may have been hard to take for the NDC and the former president. Of course, for them, it's a big hit because they failed to deliver on the same promise they made in his 2016 State of the Nation address. But it is certainly welcome news for all Ghanaians, especially students in the senior high schools, that today our children are benefiting from one student, one tablet. And I'm sure you all recall the comment our former president made. In fact, he's on record to have said, and I'm sure the video is scrolling for all of us to see. This is a former president of the Republic of Ghana, the man who promised the whole of this country that he was going to give children tablets to deliver textbooks, to deliver revision notes, to deliver past questions, asking the relevance of one student, one tablet to these same students in 2024.
The current government. Otherwise, if you are using 1.3 billion cedis to give pre-tertiary students laptop, our priority would have been different. There are other things begging for funding in our educational system than those laptops.
Flashback. And we're going to pilot the use of electronic textbooks at the secondary level, and junior high school and secondary level. And so students will receive tablets.
These children in 2016, that you're going to give them tablets. You lost elections because you could not deliver. Fast forward 2023, His Excellency Dr. Bawumia, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, announced that we, the New Patriotic Party, were going to distribute tablets to students of senior high school in this country. The NDC, in their usual impossibility character and posture, came out to ridicule this announcement, hoping it will never come to reality. But on the heels of the hard-working Dr. Bawumia, the policy was launched and distribution, as we speak, has started. These tablets come in to provide textbooks, past questions, lesson videos, and other educational resources to help teaching and learning, and to also greatly save costs for both students and government. Now, the hypocrisy. Isn't it unfortunate that the failed former president and the NDC would, in the full-blown of hypocritical parade, come to display their bitterness towards a policy and especially its beneficiaries, who are all Ghanaians of this country? The incompetent former president, after promising to roll out and distribute tablets across this country and failing woefully to implement this promise, comes to question the priority of government to do the exact thing that he promised some 7 years, 8 years ago, and could not deliver. If this is not double standards, if this is not hypocrisy, then I leave the judgment to the good people of this country. Further checks even goes on to bring up that the former president, on page 70 of his 2020 manifesto, that is barely 3.5 years ago, promised to distribute tablets to all senior high school students in this country, should they win power. So it's baffling, extremely baffling, how the same former president labels the distribution of tablets that he promised and couldn't deliver, which this time, because he's going to free senior high school beneficiaries, he labels them misplaced and a bribe for votes. The question is, was he seeking to bribe the students when he promised them in 2016? Was he seeking to bribe them when he promised them in 2020? The biggest question we are all seeking to get answers from the former president is, what does he have against this innocent, dreaming senior high school beneficiaries? It is ridiculous, extremely ridiculous, for a former president whose regime struggled to provide common chalk for our classrooms, and had the former second lady best out to tell Ghanaian teachers and schools that their government was not going to provide any chalk for teachers today, and they were not going to provide chalks for them tomorrow. It is ridiculous for him to come back and ask us why we are providing tablets for senior high schools in the times that we are providing smart blackboards in our schools. And I'll be glad if we had a video to play, just to remind Ghanaians the kind of person we have to deal with in election 2024. And across this country, we are slowly and gradually moving from chalk and blackboard. We've even moved slowly from filmmaker board, and we are heading towards smart boards in our schools. And the former president thinks that we are not ready to provide or for our children to have tablets, but they were ready to receive tablets at the time when even chalks could not be provided for this case. Gradually, the lid is falling off, and the country is becoming glaringly aware of the credibility deficit of the former president. What is more worrying is the sheer bitterness, unbelievably sheer bitterness, and the constant attacks that the former president met on these, constantly meting out on these free SHS beneficiaries, apparently for no reason. The former president needs to do away with this bitterness against the beneficiaries of free senior high school, because clearly they cannot be blamed for his failure as a president. Neither can the 2 occasions that he lost his elections or was rejected by the people of Ghana be blamed on these senior high school beneficiaries. It is important that from today onwards, we see a complete seizure from the former president in the manner in which he goes about attacking the free senior high school beneficiaries. This government is particularly happy to indicate that since assumption of office in 2017, the education sector is one sector that has been given utmost priority for nearly 7 constant years. And it is for a good reason. Indeed, education, we all agree, is a subject that is unavoidable. Whatever else one is talking about, be it health, agriculture, ICT, industrialization, housing, security, even our macro economy, education is at the top of all of them. It is imperative of a nation aiming to transform itself into a modern, productive player in the global market to get its educational policies right. There is no part of Ghana or segment of our society that does not recognize the importance of education. We have all accepted that education is the best route to moving this country out of poverty. That is because the nation or nations that have made rapid progress around the world have all put education at the heart of their development agenda. It is for this reason that systematically and deliberately this government has been working to transform the various levels in the educational sector, looking at both soft and hard issues. This government is not only building classrooms. This government is transforming education from the kindergarten level to the tertiary level, and we'll show that this afternoon. In our kindergarten schools, we are heavily investing in our teachers, equipping them with modern technologies tailored for early childhood development. We have provided age-appropriate learning materials, play equipment, and resources for interactive and engaging learning experiences. Today, we are executing over 1,300 infrastructural interventions at the kindergarten level, setting new standards for early childhood education. These schools boast of cutting-edge technology, including smart boards to enhance interactive learning experience. We are pleased to report that a substantial number of these projects are actually nearing completion, and they will be fully operational by the end of this year. And I'm sure a lot of us have seen the ultra-modern Kwabenya kindergarten school that we have operating as we speak this afternoon. And you can see it sliding on the video. Fellow Ghanaians, this is a kindergarten school in the Republic of Ghana. Like I said, the New Patriotic Party is not just building schools, we are transforming education in this country. Our children deserve to be ready for the world ahead of them. Our children deserve to be ready for the age of AI, robotics, and every single thing that is ahead of them as they grow. And that is what the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, and the MPP government is delivering to this country systematically. I challenge the NDC to show us the number of cages they built during their time, and not just the buildings, but show us their transformational agenda. We have boldly displayed the transformation we are bringing into our cages, and we are boldly displaying the schools we are building for the kindergartens. We want the people of Ghana, those whose decisions are going to be based on cages, because their children are coming, to have the basis to make that decision. They should show us the cages they built. We put it side by side the cages we are showing you, and let the people of Ghana decide. Now, at the primary level, in our primary schools today, the Akufo-Addo administration has focused a substantial number of its interventions on empowering our teachers through extensive training and capacity building. We have ensured a consistent provision of learning materials and embarked on targeted infrastructure upgrades to create conducive learning environment for our teachers and our students at the primary level. The implementation of the National Standardized Test for Primary 2 and Primary